By the end of the autumn term, Highdon felt very different to the frightened place Andrew Collins had first entered only a few months before. The towering brick buildings had become familiar. The long corridors no longer seemed endless, and the ringing of the great bell was simply another part of everyday life. More importantly, the boys of Ash House had become friends. Their discovery of the hidden passage beneath the chapel had remained a closely guarded secret. Only the four of them knew about the old diary they had found, and each had promised that its stories would remain safe until the right time. Life at Highdon continued much as it always had. The classrooms echoed with lively lessons. The rugby pitches became muddy battlefields after every downpour. The library remained a favourite refuge on cold evenings, while the common room was filled with laughter whenever prep was finally over. The staff remained as varied as ever. Mrs. Bellamy continued to encourage nervous newcomers with patience and quiet understanding. Miss Blyton inspired boys to lose themselves in great adventure stories. Mrs. Fenwick expected careful work, but always found time to explain difficult sums. Miss Harcourt still expected the dormitories to be spotless before breakfast each morning. Above them all stood Miss Charlotte Ashcombe, whose calm authority shaped every corner of the school. Highdon was still a traditional boarding school. In the headmistress's study and in certain staff rooms, reminders of older disciplinary customs, including the school cane and the house slipper, remained as symbols of rules that had existed for generations. Yet even within the school, there was an awareness that educational thinking beyond its gates was changing. More teachers were speaking about guidance, responsibility, and earning respect through fairness, rather than relying solely upon long-established customs. One afternoon, Miss Ashcombe addressed the assembled boys in the great hall. "A school," she said quietly, "is judged not only by examination results or trophies, but by the character of the young people who leave it. Courtesy, honesty, perseverance, and kindness will carry you much further than any prize." The hall remained silent. Even the oldest prefects listened carefully. Andrew glanced across at David, Peter, and Simon. He realized that Highdon had already begun teaching them those lessons, not simply in classrooms, but through friendships, shared responsibilities, and the everyday rhythm of boarding life. After assembly, the four boys walked towards the old cedar tree one last time before the Christmas holidays. The stone still lay undisturbed. "We'll come back next term," Peter said. "There are still parts of the tunnel we've never explored." David smiled. "I've a feeling Highdon has plenty more secrets waiting for us." Snowflakes began drifting gently across the Sussex countryside. The chapel bell rang through the crisp winter air. Boys hurried across the quadrangle carrying suitcases, eager to see their families again. Miss Bellamy wished every boy a happy Christmas. Mrs. Fenwick reminded them not to forget their mathematics revision. Miss Blyton pressed another adventure novel into Andrew's hands. "You'll enjoy this one," she said with a smile. As the coaches rolled through the great iron gates, Andrew looked back at the old buildings. Only a few months earlier, they had seemed cold and intimidating. Now they looked strangely welcoming. Highdon was not a perfect place. It was a school shaped by tradition, inhabited by demanding teachers, lively boys, and customs inherited from another age. Some of those traditions would endure. Others, Andrew suspected, would gradually fade as the years passed. But the friendships formed within those red brick walls, the adventures shared beneath ancient trees, and the memories created in the Sussex countryside would remain with the boys long after they had left Highdon behind. And somewhere beneath the chapel floor, the forgotten diary waited patiently for the next generation of curious boys to discover its pages and add another chapter to the remarkable story of Highdon School.